Well, somebody finally left the compound alive and in their right mind. Tonight, we're going to dive right into episode 6, season 5 of Tyler Perry's The Oval. Now, I really don't have a fancy intro for this episode, so let's just get right into the recap with everything that happened. So, since Daikon could not get the truth out of Jason, he decided to take him to the highest, I don't know, I guess as a punishment or something, because once they entered his trailer, he was very calm. He really didn't get upset about anything. And maybe he had already prophesied that Jason was, I don't know, not a threat, since he was already meditating. And when Daikon said that Jason looked like the president's son, there was this strong possibility that we would definitely explore the fact that Jason would convince them that he wasn't the son of the president of the United States. And this was the running line of this episode, by the way. I think that they may have said President of the United States like 158 times. And there was definitely some type of bond that had taken place between Jason, River, and the Highest. River and Jason are best friends now. And the Highest is like their godfather, for real. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but they all connected on some level. As soon as Jason entered the trailer, it was like he already knew that Jason was the president's son. Daikon offered to check out his story, of course, and Jason kept telling them that he just looked like Jason Franklin, but he was actually Mike Jones. And Daikon was able to confirm Jason's made-up story that he was not the president's son because their son was dead. They apologized for the confusion and asked Jason to stay and to join the compound. Jason said that he'd love to stay, but he really needed to get back home because his uncle was going to be worried about him and that he wanted to call in to let him know that he was going to be all right. Then the Highest said, yeah, go ahead, let him use the phone. Let him use the phone. But Daikon said, no, that's not going to be necessary because we actually fixed his motorbike. Jason gave the Highest a peace sign and he walked out. Jason left the compound free and clear, no strings attached. Unbelievable. Then we see a frantic Kyle and Donald trying to push their way in to see if Hunter was still amongst the living. And this caused them to panic a little bit because Hunter didn't wake up and they know the kind of evil that Victoria is capable of. She walked in and slapped Hunter awake, and when he came to, he said that he felt like he had been hit by a truck and he wasn't aware of what was going on. He had to be told that Eli had taken over the presidency all over again. I guess he just forgot from the last episode. And here's where we learn that Hunter is now wearing a nephroscopy bag. I think I'm saying that right because his kidneys are failing and he could barely stand up. Hunter is now begging to see Alfonso, right? And Sam for obvious reasons. But Donald is more concerned about getting Hunter back in front of the press so that they can continue with business as usual. I told y'all, he ready to slick Hunter's hair back, put him in a suit and tie so that he can stand alongside him to fool the public once again. And Hunter's hair is still intact, by the way. They won't have to do much to it. Now, in this next scene, we have Sam sitting in Richard's kitchen and they're talking like the good friends that they are. And in walk Nancy and Priscilla, like they just came back from shopping at the mall. Now, mind you, Nancy just got released from the hospital about, 10 minutes ago? She came up in that kitchen in her right mind, hair done, nails done, girl sitting up high, right? Like nothing was ever wrong with her. Then they all left and went to work. Well, everyone except Nancy. Now, while they're outside, Sam and Priscilla, Sam told her that he wanted to come back home. And of course, we know that that's going to be a flat out no. Then he wanted to know how she was able to get the special forces to come inside their home. And he knew that it was special forces because in between the stomps and the punches that he received on the last episode, Sam said that he knew this by the way that they were standing and by the types of shoes that they were wearing. And Sam's got to have one hell of a memory to remember all of this stuff from training, all while he was getting the crap beat out of him. That's impressive. Then we had a little lighthearted moment between Bobby and Max. They agreed that Boo Boo, aka Bobby Baby, would be the one to go down to the bunker to check on Simone. Then as they were standing there talking, here comes Priscilla. She entered the room and then she began flirting with Bobby Baby, right? And then that left him blushing. They're just picking up as if nothing has happened, as if Bobby didn't get blasted in the chest with plastic bullets. I mean, they're acting as if none of this took place. Very interesting. Then we see Victoria roaming the hallway with absolutely nothing at all to do. She sashayed her way inside the Oval Office and immediately began flirting with Eli, but Eli was more concerned about them getting caught, being careful with their moves, and he even said that he needed to go and check on Simone. Finally, this is something that Victoria doesn't want to happen, but she knows that he's got to do it, or they both know that she'll be suspicious if anything otherwise. And I'm wondering what happened to the plan that they had to have her suffer this horrible accident with the children. What happened to that? Then we have Dale and Alan, and Dale and Alan have kind of become allies, so to speak, by default. He called Dale to be sure that he went to his apartment like he told him to. Not much happening here. It was basically the same conversation as last week, other than the fact that Dale is a little bit more receptive now because he knows that Cuz is sending them boys after his ass. So he's listening to Alan a little bit more now when it comes to the contents of this box. And all he keeps saying is that whatever's in the box is going to protect them both. And Dale didn't ask him what the heck was in there, so we still don't know. He told Dale that he was talking to the FBI and that they may be able to help him out as well. Victoria and Eli made it to the press conference to spew more of their lies instead of telling the public the truth that Hunter was a helpless drug addict who needed help, not fit to run anyone's country, let alone the United States of America. But instead they told them that Hunter had this bad reaction to some sinus medications and medications that he was taking for high cholesterol. They told him that Jesus Christ. They told him that he mixed the two together by mistake and had a horrible reaction. You know, this woman is unbelievable. Then the guy stood up and said, well, the last time you were on the podium, you told us that the president was a murderer. Oh man, Eli wasn't ready for those questions. I guess he thought that they forgot. Then they brought the doctor out to answer all the medical questions. And that wasn't even the doctor that was treating Hunter. So I don't know. The press is just as confused as we are. Bobby made it down to the bunker, but the guard told him that he had strict orders from Donald not to let anyone inside, and Donald need to go sit down somewhere. You know, right? Didn't he get fired? He and Kyle. But he's still at the White House trying to tell folks what to do. I don't know. Somebody let him back in. Now, in our final scene, we have Hunter here in bed having a temper tantrum because he can't do blow anymore. Just ridiculous. He forced Kyle to go and find Alonzo. And when Alonzo got there in the room, there wasn't any small talk really. He basically told Kyle to give him his gun, then told Alonzo why he had to go, and then he shot him right there in the bedroom. And unfortunately, this is becoming more and more common on the Oval. Everybody's getting shot. Ain't nobody dying, but they're just getting shot with these rubber bullets. And this is going to bring me to my opinion of episode number 6. I'll just go ahead and tell you what I didn't like. I didn't like this last scene. You know, since we're talking about it, I didn't really like how it's all going down. You know, like I said, everybody's being shot, and then we're finding out that it's either rubber bullets or a dream sequence of some sort, or just not real, like altogether. So I mean, not to say that I want people to get shot, but it's just repetitive, you know, back to back to back, episode after episode after episode. So I really want to see some other type of consequence. I want to see people get what they deserve, and I want to, I don't know, maybe see a little bit more suffering, some life change, some type of growth. You know, it's just common amongst everyone to just grab a gun and shoot people. So I know that's what I didn't like about this episode, but what I did like about this episode is that someone finally left the compound in their right mind and alive. You know, it was, I don't know, it was kind of unreal, so to speak, because we know that that's not really normal, but because he is the president's son, they kind of let him go, gave him a little special treatment. So I like that part because he was able to escape. But that's it, you guys. That's all for episode number 6. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You know I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of Tyler Perry's The Oval, go ahead and sub to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys, and I'm going to see you in the next one.